Hello, all you fine, beautiful people. I'm back here once again with another video, and today I'm going to be doing something a little different, talking about a little drama. Mr. Scott Lade there versus YouTube versus copyright. And I guess he says he got a couple copyright strikes. I'm not sure if it's a strike or just a warning. I'm just going to be honest. Like, my understanding is if you got a copyright strike, you couldn't upload anything for uh, about a week, if or longer if it's very egregious. But it got me thinking about this because I've seen a lot of people make videos about this, the whole Rick Beato, Professor of Rock thing. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of Rick Beato. Like, there's some stuff that I used to watch. I used to be like, you know what, that's pretty interesting. But after so long, it's kind of like, well, it kind of goes over the same formula. Some would say that makes all right videos. For me, I'm kind of just like, eh. And I guess as well, they mentioned a Professor of Rock, and I kind of feel the same way. It's kind of very clickbaity. It's just stuff that doesn't really necessarily appeal to me. But I thought this would be a great way to speak about this because I heard so many people give their opinions. But I think there's a few opinions that are missing the point. And one thing I want to bring up a lot is something that if you're not familiar with, like if you're of a certain age group, you might not be familiar with this drama, or if you're not online very much or even paying attention to it, it's very easy to miss. But to anyone who's been actually following it, and the only reason I know about it is because over the last year, I thought about even doing some streaming over on Twitch. And I was looking into it, looking at the website. And if you want to know, Twitch, that place that has so much drama that Andy Cohen wishes he could do a Housewives special on it. The drama of that place is insane. But there is one thing, Ethan Klein, one of the streamers on Twitch, or I'm not sure if he's still on Twitch, he is suing three content creators. I know, believe it's also mods, but for reacting to his video and not being quote unquote reacting. It was kind of just playing his video. And I started to really think about this. And at the time that this lawsuit came out and I found out about it, I'm like, oh crap, this is going to change the whole fair use debate. Because this is going to change the argument. This is probably going to lead to precedent of what's fair use. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, that video, which he called his content nuke, he sued the content creators Frogan, Casey Tron, and Denims for virtually just playing his video and subverting the copyright so they get money for it. And it's really interesting. At least that's kind of what I assume is like the brass, like pretty much the argument is there wasn't enough reacting going on in that video. Now, how does that play over to the Beato, uh, like Rick Beato, Professor of Rock, Scott Lade type thing? Is, and this is me being a content creator, I'll be fully transparent. I used to try and stream reactions back in the day, but every time I did, they get blocked. But if I did videos where it was specifically reaction, not on stream, I didn't have a problem. Now I know when Scott started doing this on his Sunday live stream, I was kind of thinking in my back of my mind, it's going to be a little bit of time, but he's eventually going to get something, whether the video get completely blocked or brought down or something. But it's quite interesting to really listen to, kind of just figure out. And I'm shocked he got away with it really as long as he did. I figured somebody would have done something earlier. He's correct. Don't monetize it. That's usually the best thing. Uh, I've been very transparent doing reaction videos that I don't make a dime from it because I feel like also the next step for companies like Universal and copyright holders is I think they're going to start going after people's Patreons. All these people that have Patreon channels where maybe they upload the copyrighted material to Patreon, I could see them going after that. Because for some of these creators, like you're looking at Rick Beato, over 5 million subscribers, let's say even 10% of that, which I believe would be about 500,000 Patreon, you start adding that in, certain amount of money a month. Like, I'm not sure if Rick has Patreon. I know, what's his face up, Professor of Rock does. Like, I see him promote it. So it kind of gets into that. And I think that's probably where a lot of this is going to be going, is into that next level where they're going to start on YouTube, because then they're going to make the argument that you're profiting off of copyrighted material. You're off of my copyright, so I'm entitled to compensation. That's one of the reasons why, like, even when I did think about starting Patreon, I really got into it, and I'm like, do I want to do this? Where it could come back, and it's kind of one of those things where I think about it, like, do I come back and do I actually understand this and potentially have it work? You have to pay that money back to somebody else. So I thought, you know what, I'll just abandon that for now and see where the chips lay where they may. That's why I kind of thought about doing Twitch. And then that whole drama, and that's a whole rabbit hole. If you love drama, you love this and that, I heavily suggest go to Twitch, because that place is just like insane. Like, even Kick as well, like the stuff you find on there is just insane. It's interesting. But that's really where I think it starts, is I think there's going to be a change in copyright. Universal's ahead of the game. They have the lawyers that can definitely talk about this stuff. But I think that's why you're seeing a lot more issues with people and fair use and what's fair use and monetizing. I know Rick Beato talked about like hiring lawyers and stuff, and I think I misunderstood him at the beginning, because I'm like, if you're having to hire lawyers to start like just making sure your videos even get monetized, maybe change what you're doing. Because I think the way of this is always about reinvention. It's why I've started doing different stuff, looking at different ways, just looking at different things. That's virtually the main argument for me. I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, that I know all knowing. It's just a thought and opinion. I think for Scott, like the Sunday live stream, I think, because I know he's talked about kind of not playing music on there anymore, and I think that is a good first step. I know you want to get music out there. For me, I'd definitely say maybe just it's kind of why, like, even in my shorts, I've had people comment saying, why don't you add music? If I added music, I have a specific amount of time for a short, and if I start adding music, then it starts getting into it. Then I've looked at the revenue split for shorts, and I'm like, I'm not at the channel length where I feel like giving up 55% of the money from a short, because that's just what, don't quote me on that. Actually, I kind of just Googled it, and that's kind of the percentage it gave me. So I'm like, yeah. So I'll just continue doing it without music. I love Scott's channel because there isn't music in it. You get to see Scott. I think it's all about a personality. I think sometimes we get in the mode of where we're trying to definitely just be all encompassing, try to bring everybody in here instead of just focusing on what kind of brought you to the dance. And I think with Scott, it's his personality. I think Scott could talk about a gazillion things other than prog and make it entertaining. That's why, like, I love watching Scott and his channel. But I think that going forward, I always look at it, companies like this, they have lawyers, they're richer than me. It doesn't matter, they're going to squash me. And I think people like, if Rick Beato is really worried about it monetarily, I think even if Rick came back under a different name and did something, like he could go, I think he's at the point where he could have gone to any platform and just started doing it on a different platform. It sucks because YouTube is like the biggest platform, but when life hands you lemons, it really it sucks. And I know Scott, great dude. I know he puts a lot of work into that channel. And I just thought I'd come up here and just give kind of my general thoughts. I know I love to ramble on, to quote Led Zeppelin. Holy crap, watch out. They might demonetize me for that. But it's something that I know a lot of people don't bring up because I don't think a lot of people are familiar about it. The whole Ethan Klein thing. Now, I'm going to admit, I knew going in doing reactions, I'm not going to make money doing this. And I know there's a lot of people that went out and did. I think there's a lot of channels that you start really digging into it, they could be paying a lot of money in copyright, me included. Like, if I got stuff saying, take this video down, I do it. Like, it's kind of the rule. Like, here's my thing. If I go and I put something up and it's blocked and I think, okay, I believe this is fair use, and they still block it, I just take the video down. Granted, there's been times where it's like, one day this video is blocked, and then 6 months later it comes back up as like, no, blocked no more. I'm kind of like, it's a cycle. I wonder if it's just the bots as well. Because I do know that for some stuff like streaming, I know Twitch recently put in their bot countermeasures, which, depending who you watch, it's like, okay. Do I think it's perfect? No, but does it show? Is it interesting number wise? I think if you're into the numbers, it's interesting. But anyway, once again, that's my thoughts and opinions. Like, I love to ramble. As you guys know, this is me here once again. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, click the little bell down below so don't miss anything. It helps spread the video I hear. So if you can, it's free. Just do it. This is me here signing out. Peace.